I have a question that I would like to ask you today. Are you working out your own soul salvations with fear and trembling? Are you working out your own soul salvation with fear and trembling? And somebody may say, what do you mean? Well, as I was reading over Philippians chapter 2, verse 12, and I'm going to read it to you. And I'm going to read Philippians chapter 2, verse 12 and 13 to you. I want you to think about the words that Paul is saying. I want you to think about them. I want you to resonate to what it's saying and how it can apply to you. Because see, whether we like it or not, we all have to work out our own soul salvation with fear and trembling. And Paul is talking to the people in the Philippians church. He's talking to believers. He's not talking to unbelievers. So I want somebody to realize that on today, that as believers, not an unbeliever, but if you say that you are a believer, you're called to conduct yourself a certain way. So I'm going to read it to you. And when you get a chance to always go back and read it over for yourself. And what I'm going to do first, I'm going to read it in the King James Version, and then I'm going to read it in the Study Bible version, okay? Study Bible just breaks it down a little bit different, but it's still the same. And it says, "Wherefore, my beloved, as ye have always obeyed, not as in my presence only, but now much more in my absence, work out your own soul salvation with fear and trembling." Verse 13, "For it is God which worketh in you both to will and do of his good pleasure." And now I'm going to read it what the Study Bible says. "Dear friends, you always followed my instructions when I was with you. And now that I'm away, it is even more important. Work hard to show the results of your salvation, obeying God with deep reverence and fear." Verse 13, "For God is working in you, giving you the desire and the power to do what pleases him." I want you to think about that. Paul is letting those group of believers know, I know how you conduct yourself and do when I'm around, but Paul is saying, are you still gonna live the same way when I'm not around? See, I can raise my hand because I know that, of course, I'm guilty of it, and very well you may be too. Because see, Paul was a leader, a servant of Christ. He was a leader. So of course, they act a certain way around Paul. And could that not be like some of us? You know, we act a certain way around our leaders. We act a certain way around our pastor. You act a certain way around your first lady. Could that very well be you? See, we act a certain way when we in the church. We act a certain way when we're in the building. But how are we acting outside of the building? And all that makes a difference. Paul is saying, when it says about having a deep reverential fear of the Lord, and what that means is being in awe of the Lord, having so much respect for the Lord that all you want to do is try your best to live for the Lord. And can you say that on today? Because something that I thought about, like in verse 13, when it said that, and I'm going to read verse 13 again. I'm going to read verse 13 again, and I want you to think about what it's saying. And it says, "For God is working in you." Okay? For God. Paul is letting them know, for God, which within all of us as believers, is working within us, giving you the desire and the power to do what pleases him. He is working within us to give us the power and the desire to do now what pleases him. See, when I think about Hebrews 9:27, Hebrews 9:27 says that each person is destined to die once, then judgment. Each person is destined to die once, then judgment. And as I was looking over everything, and when it's talking about work out your own soul salvation with fear and trembling, when I think about that, each person is destined to die once and then judgment. And whether we want to believe it or not, or whether we like it or not, we're going to be held accountable for the things that we do while we're in this body. I want somebody to know that, and I want somebody to hear that. Work out your own soul salvation is very, very powerful. And I don't think somebody understands that. It's powerful to the point because when we all leave this world, we are all going to have to stand for the things that we done, whether right, whether wrong. And the part that I like that it says in verse 13 is that God is living in us to direct us on the things now in our life to do what's pleasing to him. So for somebody, I want you to understand this. What it means that now if you say that you are a true believer of the Lord, why do you think you can keep doing things against the Lord? Why do you think you can keep going to places and being a part of any group or organizations that's not of the Lord? See, I want you to think about it now. We all have to work it out for ourselves because, see, when I stand before the Lord, I'm going to have to answer for the things that I did, things that I was a part of, places that I went to. God is going to deal with every last one of us. And so that's why it's funny, when I think about some people who say, hey, God dealt with me about my cigarette smoking. Because, see, we all are going to have to stand before the Lord for the things that we did. But as long as we on this earth while the breath is in our body, you better believe it. If you say that you're a believer of Jesus Christ, he's going to deal with you with anything that's not like him, whether you like it or not. Because let me tell you something, God cares nothing about your feelings. He don't care about your feelings. He don't care about what you want to let go. God is going to tell you the things that you need to let go. In order to be with him when you leave this world, you're going to have to let go anything that don't represent him. And that's people, that's places, and those are things. And people may not want to hear that on today. So you can't still hold on to everything saying that you're for God's kingdom. You can't keep holding on and doing any and everything that don't represent God's kingdom, but yet you saying you want to go to God's kingdom. See, when I think about, it's a lot of people who may feel like, hey, it's nothing wrong with me going to the casino. It's nothing wrong with me playing my scratch-off cards. See, when I started having a relationship, not just a membership, somebody needs to know that it's a difference between you having your Sunday membership and having a true relationship with the Lord. See, when God start dealing with you, and if the Holy Spirit is living in you, he gonna start convicting you on some things. And you may have somebody that say, well, you know what? The Lord ain't told me that. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep playing my cards and doing what I have to do. But all I can tell you is what the Lord convicted me on. See, the Lord dealt with me. You can't do that no more. You can't play your scratch-off cards no more. You can't keep going these same places anymore. See, the Lord is going to deal with you, whether you like it or not, or whether you accept it or not. God is going to deal with you. And what you all have to realize, just like I have to realize, we all are going to have to stand before the one true and living God. Each person is destined to die once, then judgment. Whether we want to admit it or not, we can say all day and go around the world and say, ain't nothing wrong with me being a part of this, ain't nothing wrong with me being a part of that. But when we stand before God, we going to find out, was it right or was it wrong? You have some people who feel like, guess what? It's nothing wrong with me. God ain't did nothing to me. Maybe he did tell them that they can't be in that same sex relationship, but the Lord ain't told me nothing about it. we all are going to have to stand before him. Somebody better know that. That's why it says, work out your own soul salvation with fear and trembling. Because see, when I started seeking the Lord and I started getting close to the Lord, a conviction came on me from the Lord. And see, a conviction came on me from the Lord because I was so used to voting one type of way. I didn't know no other type of way, and I didn't care to vote another way. And I was just voting one way. Ask me why I voted that way. You was raised voting one way, and we being a certain color group of people, we think that we only supposed to vote one way. At one time, the Holy Spirit dealt with me. And the Holy Spirit dealt with me. And the Holy Spirit said, you know what? You was the reason why same-sex marriage got passed. Now, this is what the Holy Spirit is dealing with me with. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm telling you about me. So he's dealing with me, and I'm like, I ain't passed no law for no same-sex marriage. That ain't got nothing to do with me. You want to know what the Holy Spirit told me? Who did you vote for? Who did you vote for? See, what a lot of us don't realize, when we just vote in any kind of way, because they look the same way, we just going in and voting and doing things our way and not truly seeking God out to do it the right way. See, the Holy Spirit dealt with me about that. See, what a lot of us don't realize, because we voted for these people, that's how laws get passed. See, that's how things get put into place. Because, see, we voted for this stuff blindly because we think we're doing things the right way. So you know what I had to do? I had to ask for forgiveness. I said, Lord, forgive me for the way that I was voting. Forgive me, Lord, because, see, a lot of things get put in place that we don't even know, believe it or not, or we going to have to answer for that. See, you don't think you got nothing to do with it, but a lot of laws and a lot of stuff wouldn't be passed if we would have knew what we was doing when we went and checked that mark on that ballot box. So see, you could be just like me. How you think you ain't got nothing to do with all these laws and different stuff that being passed? A lot of us don't even know. A lot of us out here voting one way, and we don't even know the different laws that people got put in place with these little children. That children able to have sex changes and all this mess is going on. But you know what? We so blind, and we just go in and we just go vote because that's all we know. I'ma vote one way, and we never seek it to do God's way. A lot of us better know, because it says again, work out your own soul salvation with fear and trembling. You know, a big thing that I see online is a lot of people now are leaving a lot of these sororities and fraternities. And that's a big thing going on, because a lot of people now are saying the Lord is dealing with them about that stuff. And you got one group of people saying the Lord dealt with them. They telling good reasons why the Lord dealt with them. And you got a whole lot of people that saying, nope, the Lord ain't dealt with me. The Lord told me to join it. But guess what? One day, all of our eyes is going to close. And you're going to either find out, was it the right way or was it the wrong way? Point blank. See, when you truly say that you're a believer of the Lord, and if the Lord is living in you, God don't go along to get along. And somebody needs to hear that. God don't go along to get along. And God is not going to do anything to please you. But we called to do anything to please God. And somebody need to know that. See, God is going to deal with you. Just like little things he was dealing with me about. A lot of stuff, I'm going to be honest, some stuff I didn't like it. But let me tell you something, God don't care if you like it or not. Because just like he told me, if you want to live with me in my kingdom, you're going to have to let go of things that don't represent my kingdom. And somebody need to know that on today. See, one person can sit up here and say, you know what? It don't bother me claiming these other people's kids on these taxes. And God is dealing with somebody else about dealing with other people's kids on them taxes. Because God said them ain't your kids to be claiming on them taxes. See, God deals with everybody. You got some women who feel like, ain't nothing wrong with no abortion. And God done dealt with many women about having abortions. But you got some women who feel like it ain't nothing wrong with me getting rid of that child if I don't want that child because it's my body, my choice. But guess what? If we don't get this stuff right before our eyes close, we gonna have to stand before a holy God and we gonna have to pay for the choices that we made in life. See, I used to love going to those comedy shows, but I can tell you what, there wasn't no good wholesome comedy shows. Every filthy word known to man coming out their mouth, and the Holy Spirit dealt with me. You can't keep going these same places. I can't keep going to these same old concerts if I'm saying now that I'm a believer of Christ. And some people may feel like, you know what, God ain't never dealt with me with that. I can still go where I want to go. That ain't nothing to me. See, God deals with all of us. But the thing about it is, we all are going to have to stand before the one true and living God, whether we like it or not. Because remember this, and go back and read Hebrews 9:27. Each person is destined to die once and then judgment. It can be things that you can overlook in your life and you can say, nope, God ain't told me to let it go. God ain't told me to quit doing that stuff. God ain't told me. God ain't told me. But one day, you're going to have to stand before God. We all got to stand before God. So while the breath is in our body, why not go to God and truly seek to have a relationship with God? Because a lot of us, we got memberships, but we ain't got relationships. And see, when you just got a membership without that relationship, just like I was guilty of, I had a membership. See, I had a place that if my eyes closed, I knew that they could have my funeral there. See, I had my membership down pat, but I didn't have my relationship down pat. And see, when you have a membership, only a membership, and when the reality of the matter is that the truth of God is really not even being taught anymore, you can go day in, day out, week in, week out. And when you have a membership, that's why it was so easy for me to leave and go have sex with my boyfriend after I got done clapping my hands and praising the Lord. See, when I just had that membership, that's why it was so easy for me to have no conviction, and I can go watch my filthy pornography and live how I want to live and sleep with whoever I want to sleep with. But when you have a relationship, I'm going to say it again, but when you have a relationship and the Lord is living in you, you can't do the things that you used to do, because the Holy Spirit is going to convict you. There's no way that you think you can still talk to your spouse the same, treat your kids the same, and just keep living the same. Something's gotta change. So on today, it's time for us to truly seek after the Lord, to have a true relationship with the Lord. Because for everybody, to the unbeliever as well as the believer, we all will stand before the Lord. And anything, and you can say it all day long. You can say it all day long. God ain't dealt with me with that. God ain't told me that. Just because he told them not to do it, God ain't told me not to do it. But I'm going to tell you like this. You're going to stand before God one day, and you're going to find out if God truly told you not to do it. Because this is the difference. God don't make none of us do anything. That's what somebody need to know. God don't make none of us do nothing. If God is dealing with you about something, God ain't going to make you stop doing it. He's going to give you that urge and that pushing you not to do it. But God can't make you not do anything. But while the breath is in your body, he's going to give you every opportunity to get things right and make things right while you can. And just remember, we can only do it while the breath is in our body, because it's going to be too late when the breath leaves out of our body. So on today, What is it that you need to say, Lord, I got the membership, but I need a relationship? What is it on today that you need to go out to the Lord about, cry out to the Lord about, and say, Lord, is what I'm doing wrong? It's the places I'm going wrong. It's the people I'm constantly dealing with wrong. What do you need to cry for your soul about? Because you get one, you don't get two, you don't get three, you get one. Work out your own soul salvation with fear and trembling. Let's seek the Lord and go to the Lord and truly know while our days on this earth that we can get rid of anything that don't represent the Lord, and we can know in our eyes closed we will be welcomed by the Lord. So always remember my closing. Self-examination is the best examination, and Jesus Christ is Lord, and he's all we have. Have a great rest of the day.